All right. There we go. Let me get myself onto the screen. There we go. And we'll give it a few minutes. They changed Zoom today. I don't know if you guys noticed that. They changed it. So very exciting. All right. A lot of familiar faces. Hello, hello guys. Good to see you. I'm going to give it a few more minutes while people jump on. So this is going to be about how to create your book using AI, excuse me, using ChatGPT. Okay. So just to make sure everybody's in the right spot, and just so you're aware, this is more for entrepreneurs, businesses, coaches, course creators, people who want to create authority with an audiobook or with a physical book. Okay. So I know a lot of people are like, how do you create a children's book? And I created a children's book using AI as well, but I'm not going to be going into that in this session because that's a whole nother ball game of how to do everything. So we'll give it a few more minutes, letting people jump on. Okay. Very cool. So just so you know, this is going to just be about creating a book that elevates your authority. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And we've got a very short amount of time. So I'm going to just kick things off right away. Yeah, I'm super pumped. So real quick, in case you don't know me, my name is Carla White. I am the founder and CEO of a software company called Hero.fm, which is an interactive audio platform. I'll share more about that later. I am also the first woman to launch an iPhone app, and that app is called Gratitude Journal. It's still on the App Store. It's been on the App Store for 13, 14 years, 15 years, who knows? Some of you guys were in diapers, I bet. So, I created that app when most people were laughing at me saying, iPhone will never be a thing. Apps will be the fly by the night sort of thing. I'm never going to get rid of my BlackBerry. And here's a million reasons why my BlackBerry is here forever. And I'm hearing the same chitter chatter about AI. How many of you guys are hearing that about AI too, right? Like this is the bros that are doing this. All the guys who failed out of crypto are now getting into AI. And I'm here to say that is not how it is. That is not how it is. So, so I created this app called Gratitude Journal. I'm going to share a little bit more about that later too. But then I wrote this book called Idea to iPhone. It's a big meaty thing. All right. So it's got like, well, let me just see if I can share that a little bit more. Like this is a book. This is a lot of work. This was harder than any app or software that I wrote. This is months of insomnia right here. And I wrote that with a publishing company called Wiley. And that was super hard. I wish I would have known what I had today when I wrote that book. But that's out there on Amazon if you want to check it out. I get like 3 cents for each book that sells. So I'm not going to make a lot of money off of it by promoting it. And this is why I'm really excited, is to help you get your book out, help you get yourself published, and keep all the profits. That's really important to me, to see you get that growth. So I have kids at home. I have 2 little boys, and we've had a heck of a snowstorm that dumped like well over a foot of snow. So before we jump into anything, I want you to know that we may get interrupted with little feet pattering through here, covered in snow and interrupting. So that's going to come regardless. no matter how much I planned for this. Also, because we had the snowstorm, I didn't have a lot of time to plan the whole events of it. So what I did was I took a Word doc, which I'll share with you when we're done. So if you're taking notes, I created a Word doc, and I will just open up that Word doc. Let me get this started. Let me pull up the Word doc real quick. And let me see how I can do this. I don't want that. Here we go. Okay. Are you guys all seeing my Word doc? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we're going to talk about how to write a book with AI. And I already talked about who I am. Oh my goodness, all my kids that are coming in and out of the house. But what I want to share is how this came to be. So I have a software called hero.fm, and I was doing webinars and courses and challenges, trying to get people to understand how to get the most out of the software. And if you've ever done a challenge, you know that people will fall off right away. So then I turned it into an audiobook, which I'll give you access to at the end of this class. That audiobook I turned into this. Okay, this is not on Amazon yet, but what I did was I took that audiobook and I transcribed it using, I think, Descript or some tool like that. Okay, so those transcriptions tools have been around forever. So I took and I transcribed my audiobook, and then I reached out to a very well-known ghostwriter who's a friend of mine, and I said, hey, can you take my transcription and turn it into something like this so I can put it on Amazon? And she's like, sure. And I said, hey, can we get this done by November 1st? Because I want to use it for my Black Friday special. And November 1st came and went. And I'm texting her saying, you know, what else do you need from me? Where's the things? Am I holding you up? And then Black Friday came and went. And there still wasn't anything. And when I finally got back her work, basically what she did was she added a paragraph in there that said, this was originally an audiobook, and I kept it like an audiobook so that it sounds more like a conversation. So in other words, what I wanted her to do was to take that audio version and make it into a readable version. But instead, she just kind of kept it exactly the same. And I paid thousands for it. So to say I was a little bit upset, yeah, because I missed my Black Friday special. I got nothing back. Well, I'm licking my wounds, watching the World Cup, and Twitter's alive with ChatGPT. And I have been dabbling in AI since 2018, but I kind of left it on the shelf because the problem with AI is you need a lot of, hey, if you're, there you go, cool, thanks. You need a lot of input to get quality output. And there was a big resource problem with all of that. And until ChatGPT came out, there wasn't a really easy way without resource intensive methods to get quality output. That's the best way I can explain it without getting too nerdy. Okay. So anyway, I put it on the shelf. ChatGPT comes out. I'm sitting down with this half done book, ChatGPT, and I just feed it paragraph after paragraph, asking it to rewrite it and make it better. Voila, bada bing, bada boom. Argentina beats the Netherlands and I get my book done. I mean, like, what a good day. Yeah, I'm an Argentina fan because my developers are from Argentina. So that's the book, the printed book. Now, the process that's held up is now I got to get it formatted. I got to get it onto Amazon. But before that, I went and I created the audio version, of course, because I have an audio platform. Now, the audio version is going to help me build my list so that when my regular version comes out, I'll be able to push it to everybody and say, here's Here's the version. It's updated. It's on Amazon. And then I'll re-record my audio version. So this is how my audio version is growing my business right now. I just promoted it to all the things on the interwebs. I also have a Google form ad where they get my audiobook. And then in exchange, I'm doing this. Okay. So they text in a keyword, and I'll share how you do this in a little bit at the end of this. I'll give you the opportunity to get the book. They text in a keyword, and then I get their name, phone number, and email. You guys all following me? Okay. So that's the business plan. That's how it works. Now with Hero, I'm sharing this video image because with Hero, it's also interactive. And this gives me an advantage too. By interactive, it's kind of like this. Have you ever listened to a podcast and they rattle off a website saying, hey, if you want to join my challenge, here's the URL. And you're like walking the dog. No way you're going to open up that URL. Well, with Hero, you can time those messages perfectly so that when they mention, let's go to this website, it pops up on their phone in a text message. So the book is interactive. And this is how I took my app, Gratitude Journal, and used it to build up my business. I had little messages, notifications that would go in the app that would say, hey, I launched a new podcast. And boom, my podcast was in the top 100 because of those little notifications. This helps me drive traffic to other products without having to run ads. Okay, so there's that part as well. All right, and here's my budget for all of it. Like there's no funnels involved with all of that, no copywriters, text, video, no creating websites, no writing emails, no creating slides. You can see how good I'm at with the slides right now. Pretty bad. So, so that's it, the whole thing. How many of you guys right now, I just want to take a pulse. I'm going to open up my chat here. Put it in the chat if you have created any of these things, like done a webinar or a lead magnet page or something to that regard to build your list. I just kind of want to get a pulse of, okay, all of them. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Okay. In the last 24 hours. Yeah. I love it. Okay. And this is what brings us here today. So we're going to use AI for speed, but then the audio version is to get it out there quick. You can get their attention for longer, because I forgot to mention this. When it comes to comparing the format of audio to like short-term videos or posts or even emails, you're getting way more attention. We all know we're in an attention economy. Whoever gets the most attention wins. And with short form videos, you get about 17 seconds. With audio, you're getting an hour and a half a day of attention. It's the most trusted medium on the planet, more than videos or anything else. And it creates a bond between you and your listener more than a printed version would. Okay, so this is the sweet spot that we're going for. It's this overlap while we publish our regular book. All right, so here's the process. If you're taking notes, or I'll give you this when we're done. First, we're going to create our first draft using a formula that I created in ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT because it's free. Then you have to read it out loud. You have to read it out loud because when you read it out loud, you're going to be like, wow, that sounds horrible. Let me redo this a little bit. So you're going to make it better. It's going to flow better. But when you're reading it out loud, let's use your energy and effort and the recording of it and start growing your list of hot leads. While you're formatting your book, using somebody on Fiverr, publishing it onto Amazon, and then boom, you have this, what I like to call an automated selling machine out there, driving hot leads to your business, cold to sold in like an hour and a half, without having to do these webinars, without having to do the challenges, all those things. All right. And so I posted this on my Facebook feed, and I'll share it here. Not sure how to do that, but anyway, this right here is, this is how I design my books. This is a combination of a few things. This is a combination of Russell Brunson's Perfect Webinar. How many of you guys are familiar with Russell Brunson's Perfect Webinar? Yeah. And other people, Jason Flanagan, other really good webinar creators. I've studied them all very in depth. It's also studying great stage performers. How many of you guys know Myron Golden or Eileen Wilder? I studied under both of those. So, yep. Yeah. So it's using their formulas. I've studied them, or I was their student. Let me put it that way. And learned in a lot of masterminds and one-on-ones. And then also writing my own book. So Wiley gave me a formula for this book, and other books, studying other books like The 4-Hour Workweek or Russell Brunson's books. Okay. So I know this is the pattern that these books go through. And I'm going to break it down real quick because I doubt we're going to be able to put all the prompts into ChatGPT so that you can have your book. But let me explain what all these are so that you know the formula. So first off is the intro. The intro is the most important part. You got to grab them in the first 8 seconds. You can either dazzle or dull them. You can either make money or lose money. So that 8 seconds is really important for the very beginning, right when they listen or right when they open up the book. And so in that intro, you have to establish your authority. You have to let them know the big payoff for listening to the end. You have to hook them with amazing facts, like shocking facts. And you have to let them know that you understand them and you're going to overcome any objections they have right out of the gate. If you're worried about time concerns, I got your back. If you're worried about money, I got your back. You are going to address these straight away in the intro. The intro is the most important part. Then your backstory. So the backstory isn't you were born on a farm in Kansas, although it is nice to have a little personal touch, but your backstory is more how you discovered the system, how you discovered your system, your solution. Your backstory is your reader's story. It's not really your story, it's their story. You're going to tell them your story, but they're going to relate to it. And there's a secret with the backstory. The more vulnerable you can be with your backstory, the more sales you will make. And I know a lot of people, me included, it's hard to be super vulnerable in the backstory. Because that's where you're going to build the trust, is in that backstory. And the other thing is you want them to take action. And if you don't build that trust, they won't trust you enough to take the action that you want them to take. So the backstory, and then you go into the problem. What problem are you really solving? What's the real problem here? How long has it existed? What are some of the symptoms of this problem? What's happening because of this? And then the solution, your unique solution. Why is your solution different than everything out there? And then your steps. 3 no more than 7 steps to getting your solution. So each chapter is a step. You don't condense it all into one chapter. The view is blocking the hot tips. Yeah, I know that's because I'm not sharing the hot tips yet. No peeking. So the steps are super important. And let me try to describe this as best as possible. You want to teach them the system without teaching them the system. What do I mean by that? It's like this. If you give them everything, every little step, every little procedure, straight out of the gate in the book or whatever, it's like you just fed them a whole big turkey meal. And then at the end, on 8, you're going to go, what's next? Come call me. Well, they're going to be like, well, I'm full. I got enough turkey to eat on. I don't want to buy your turkey. And not only that, they're not going to take the action. What you need to do is to share the value of each step. The value. So how you do that is you describe life before having that step in place. The pains, the horror, the story of it all. Stories, right? We all know stories connect. And then your aha epiphany moment, how you discovered it. I went through this problem of trying to hire a ghostwriter. She ghosted me. Oh, that's ironic. And then I sat down with ChatGPT and I got my book done. So that's step 1. I figured out how to do it, right? So you go through the pains and then you go through the solution and then the eureka, the wonderful life afterwards. And you do that for each step. And then you future pace them. And this is a really, really, really awesome part of the audiobook is when I future pace them, I include stories, audio versions of my customers sharing their stories. And that's the beauty of the audiobook. You can actually take people in their own voice and insert them. Way more powerful. But the future pace is also really important because you're creating this audiobook to change people's lives, or you're creating the book to change people's lives. And the only way you can get them to do that is to take action. And we know that all great athletes future pace their win before the event. They future pace the race. They see themselves finishing the race before actually getting to the starting line. So if you future pace your reader, you're going to take them across that finish line in their mind first, which is really powerful. It's really important to include that. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go really deep on the steps and they'll just briefly touch over the future pace. Future pace is way more powerful. And then the conclusion. And the conclusion, the way I like to do it is to summarize everything, the top points, of course, because most people will forget what you just told them. And also get them into a series of yeses. Why do you want to do a series of yeses? We all know the psychology of marketing. I see you guys nodding your head. Yes, because you want them to say yes to the big thing. Was your time well spent? Did you learn how to do this? Would you agree that you now understand more than ever before about this big subject? And then the what's next. And the what's next can be a few things. Here's what I like to include. 1, they can try it on their own, which I highly encourage them to do. 2, they can get my support, me and my team, and we'll do it with you. 3, you can have me teach this at your event or at your mastermind, or invite me into your podcast. Or 4, something else. Just email me, let me know. So those are the 4 options that I like to give my people who are working or listening to my book or reading it. Okay. So I want to get into what's under here, the hot tips. When you are doing your audiobook, you can inform them and they will buy nothing. You can give them all your hot tips, everything, and your bank account will have $0 and 0 cents because you did not give them a new identity. You need to create value in your book. So what does that mean? Value means you replace an existing behavior with a new one. You take, it's like, oh, I'm glad I put move the boulder. It's like your reader they can see the path. They know it's there. I know that if I cut my calories and I exercise more, I will get to that healthy weight that I've always wanted. But I have 0 resistance. I've tried diets before, and it's all these really massive boulders that are on the path that they can't move. They're as big as a house. And they're like, I give up. And so the whole purpose of your book is to move those boulders for them so that they can see the path clearly and then go, yep, I can do this. I know I can do this. So if there was shame before, you replaced it with self-love. If there was fear before, you replaced it with confidence. That's what you do with your book. That's what you're going for. And that's really a different type of book than just a webinar or something like that, right? Like just what I had before. And so, let me get into, I think I did. Okay. So let's go into creating this audiobook. So I have a series of prompts here that I put in, and I doubt we'll be able to go through all the prompts, but there's a few things you need to prepare before you even open up ChatGPT. What is your big topic, right? Like how to make passive income. Well, I suppose you could ask Chat, what are some good topics to write a book about? But hopefully you're writing it about something you already know. Where does this come from? What's the idea? Why does it matter now? Who are you involving? And is there a time concept involved? Like, are you trying to get it done in a weekend? Is it like in a certain period of time? And what's your signature process? What's your 3 steps or 7 steps? And you can ask ChatGPT for some of this. Like, I need a good name for a 7-step process on how to make killer YouTube videos. All right. And ChatGPT will do that. Just let me know in the chat. How many of you guys have used ChatGPT? Everybody, I'm pretty sure, right? No? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We got a few yet. Okay. Most of you. Oh, Tanya hasn't. All right. Oh, okay. A couple of people not. All right. Well, then if you have not used it, it's super simple. Okay. There's a few not yet. That's all right. That's cool. I'm going to go over here to ChatGPT. Now this is the interface. And really all you need to do is type in a command and it'll spit something back. And so the first command that I usually have is, well, let's get a title. So what's the title? What's a list of book titles about for retirees? And then it's going to just spit it out. Okay. Now, very important, when it's spitting all this out, you open up another Google document and you copy it all over there so you have it organized. They do have these organized prompts over here. And what I would do as well is I would title this, well, it's going to update it right away with the question. But I would title this book number 1 or whatever the book is. So you can always go back into this single prompt for your book, because you can actually start to train the prompt on the tone of the book that you want. From 0 to viral in no time. There you go. When I get a good title, I go with the hook, and I'm going to do something else that's not even on ChatGPT. I'm going to go over to Facebook to my wall, and I'm going to say, oh, do people call it wall anymore? Anyway, I'm going to post something that says, I just wrote, or I just recorded an audiobook about how to go from 0 to 250 without any websites, or whatever the hook is. Okay. I'm going to do one little post like that. It's going to be with the big color, that thing, not a whole bunch of details, just one big post. And I'll say, who wants it? This is called a hand raiser post. How many of you guys know about a hand raiser post? Yeah. Okay. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm going to check, hey, does anybody want to even have this before I build out the book? Does anybody want it? So before you go too far down the road, make sure that you have an audience for it. Make sure it's something people want. All right. You can put me on your Christmas card gift list for that one. Or your letters, whatever. All right. No sense of humor. So we get into writing the description, the subtitles, and you can have chat do this. This is where I would get some of this idea, but then I would go out to Facebook first before I would even start into a lot of this stuff. But the hook, a compelling story. You want to write the compelling story. And let's try it. Let's just see what chat gets me. Now, I'm going to share how I go do this on retirees making YouTube videos. In the tone of, and I like Jen Sincero. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a really tongue-in-cheek type of writer. And look at that. As a retiree, I have always been a tech dinosaur. I was content to stick with a flip phone and a basic cable package. That's funny. Now, what'll happen here is chat will write maybe at best 5 or 6 paragraphs. This is really good stuff though. I'm going to steal this. I'm going to use this. And I'm not going to read everything, but it'll give a conclusion paragraph. So if you're a retiree, been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I say go for it. Now, what if I want more than that? So you just type in more and it'll carry on writing and give you another paragraph. Let's say it's a little bit, I don't know, dry. It will have the opportunity, it's going to take a minute here, to let you rewrite it. And you will have different versions of the same response in one space. And I'll show you how that's done. Be patient and have fun. So now, as you know, you can't just copy this paragraph and then copy that paragraph and slap it down next to each other because it gave the same conclusion paragraph. So you need to still edit it. I do a lot of images with Midjourney, which is a AI image site, and I still take it into Photoshop and fix the image before I use it into a book. You got to do the same thing with ChatGPT. You can regenerate the response. Now, when you regenerate the response, I'm not going to do it here. You'll see a 1 and a 2 right next to this little green icon. And that's how you flip between versions. Let me see if I can do it. This is an audiobook I was working on. Let's see if you hover over it. Yeah, nothing's been regenerated. But you will see a 1 and a 2. Now it doesn't always display. You have to hover over it and it'll let you flip through the versions. So you're welcome. Okay, so this is how easy it is. I mean, this is basically it. Okay, so I've got a book that I'm working on here. This is it. And I have different paragraphs where I'm just like, okay, that doesn't read right. Plus the approach a little. So I take that and I'm just going to take a random paragraph and I'm going to just rewrite this in the tone of Jen Sincero. Hyphen, paste it in, boom. So it's rewriting the paragraph before. It's not taking my paragraph. I just gave it. Oh, you know what it did? It took retirees. I have to start a new chat because it's still on the idea that my target's retirees. That's part of the beauty. Plus, you got to be careful. But it will, when you start saying, just always redo it in Jen Sincero, is just start pumping it out. The other very important thing is if you like an output, give it a thumbs up. Let it know, love the tone. Submit that feedback. You are going to be then training your chat on how you want it to respond. I don't think enough people take that opportunity. If this wasn't what you wanted, let it know. Take that minute. It's going to give you better responses in the long run. This is a very personalized experience. It's not going to give you the same response that it gives me because of how you're training the chat. So let's get into training the chat just a little bit more. Let's say there is an author that chat is familiar with. You said in the tone of somebody, I don't know, let's say just Hormozy. Okay. I think most of us know who he is because he's exploding. So do it in the tone of Alex Hormozy, but it gives you the same dry thing. What you need to do is get some paragraphs from Alex Hormozy, get some of his content, copy it, paste it in and say, this is Alex Hormozy. And then paste in those paragraphs. If you want it to speak in a way about the intro that is more like Russell Brunson, copy a big intro, take one of Russell's webinars, transcribe it, take the intro part, feed it into here and say, this is a Russell Brunson intro. Give me an intro about making YouTube videos like Russell Brunson. And that's how you train your chat. Have you ever trained anything before, like a dog or something? That's kind of the same thing. You have to give it examples. I know what you're laughing about. Could I write a book like this from a course that I made? Yes. Okay. Is there a list of prompt commands? Okay, good. These are all good questions. All right. I'm going to go with the book one. I read that one first. Could I write a book like this from a course that I made? Absolutely. So if you missed my backstory, because I brushed over it very quickly, my book started as a course or as a course like this. Yeah, it started as like just teaching people. And then I created into an audio version. And then I took the audio version, transcribed that, gave it to a ghostwriter. The ghostwriter ghosted me, and I sat down with ChatGPT. So if you are going to take a course, let me see, was it a course or what? I gotta look at this. A book from a course. Okay. So if you were going to take the course, here's what I would suggest. Transcribe it first. You can use Descript to transcribe it. That's the best one. You can use, I can't remember what all the other ones are, but basically you just upload the video, out comes the text, clean up the text. And then you take your text like I just did and copy little pieces of it, and you tell it to rewrite it and clean it up. But you would also want to make sure that you organize it like a book. Open up a book and look at what is at the beginning. I've got like, how many of you guys got this little book? It's by Dan Henry. So he starts it off with what others are saying about it. So testimonials. You have your formatter will do that. So some testimonials. And then he does a quote. And then 60-second selling tips. So this is a summary, overcoming false beliefs, overcoming their, so you look at a book like this and you figure out what is the format. Another thing is I would go for an hour and a half read with your book. Not this. I'd go for this. These are selling more. The quick reads. So if you can create just a really quick book, that's like your signature statement, that would be huge. So list of prompt commands. So I do have my prompt commands that I use. I don't think we'll be able to go through all of them, but I'll go through the introduction. So write a compelling story. We did that. Write the big outcome that the reader will get. Now, at that point, will start telling ChatGPT what I want the outcome to be. But you could ask, what are some great rewards for a retiree to create a, you probably know this better than chat. Sense of purpose, opportunity to connect with others, keep your mind sharp, source of income. So if I was going to rewrite this, I would say, if you read to the end, you're going to learn a seeking new way to not only add years to your life, but make your final years way more fulfilled, way more fun than the first half of your life, right? You got to really push those buttons of what do they want even more. A shocking fact. These are really good. So what is a shocking fact, right? Uncommon beliefs that people have. That one's really big. So when I did this for my book, it was, most people don't believe they could write a book in a weekend, or that chat or AI would make a book of quality that the traditional methods would make. Uncommon belief or story, amazing discovery, and a shocking statement. And this is something that I really like. There's so much I want to share with you. So if you really want to bring a point home, this is how you do it. And I'm going to give you the short version. And if you watch any great speakers, you will notice them doing this. Tony Robbins does this like a master. First, they tell a story. Tell the story about how they discovered it or whatever, the pain. The story, while you're telling it, it's about you, but you swap it to them. You know, when you're trying to just get things written and you can't figure it out, you know, when you've been working on a website and it takes for ages. So you swap the story to them because nobody wants to hear about you. They want to hear about themselves. So that's part one. Me, you. Part two, share another story about somebody else. It could be a customer. It could be somebody famous. It could be something, anything. So you pound that story down with a second one. Then you really drive it home by creating a common enemy. Nothing drives people together more than a common enemy. And I wouldn't suggest a person. All right. We're not those kind of people, but more so a belief, an institution, an organization. The banks don't want you to know this. Schools don't want you to know this. Your boss doesn't want you to know this. So that's the shocking statement. And that's really going to rile them up. It's going to get that emotion going. And then you drive it on down with a little tweetable, repeatable. That's like a little quote that could go out on the interwebs as a little DDD. You'll see some of the great speakers, they create little rhymes at the end. Or you can align yourself to a higher power by quoting somebody else like Tony Robbins or quoting the Bible or something like that. That's going to align you to a higher power. So when you have a point in the middle that you want to make that you got to use ChatGPT, I would start with my own story. Then I'd tell another story. Then I'd bring home how these guys don't want you to know about it. Then I'd use some quotes to really bring it home. And I'd layer it like that. And I do that all in the intro. Because people are going to be like, ooh, I got to read this. Go away. I'm reading a good book. And if you can do that in the intro, it doesn't matter about the rest of it because you already won them. That's why I'm bringing home the intro so hard. So you can do, where are all my steps? Here. You can get into your own stories and blah, 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 blah. But if you kill that intro, if you really hit that intro home, they're going to be like, okay, let me flip to the back of the book. What do I do? Who do I call? All right. So I know we're not going to have time. I wanted to end this at noon or at 1 my time. The value, who this book is for, what skeptics are saying, how this book is different, how to read this book. Oh my gosh, this is so important. You got to give them direction. Give them direction. Like at the end of each chapter, give them steps to do right now, how to read this book. I already got into like your story is the backstory. Then you create your outline. What are all the steps? The how-to, I talked about the hell without the step, the heaven with the step, how to do it, and you just repeat it. I mean, this is the basic thing. Bring it on home with the 4 points. what the future holds, conclusion, the six yeses, and then next steps. Thank the reader, call to action, list of resources, blah, blah, blah. Table of context, freebies. Now, here's what I like to do. I'm going to bring it home again. I'm going to turn that into this first to build my list. Super important. This is really important because you're going to have to read that out loud. Put it to good use. Build your list. The other thing is you're going to razzle dazzle them if you use Hero by putting in these automated messages. I cannot tell you how many times I get messages saying, oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. Because here's the 3 messages that I give. Let's see if I put it in here. Right here. Here's my 3 messages. The first one is a free gift. I'll give them like a workbook or cheat sheet or something to go with the book. Hey, bud. Or here's a cool one. I just got off the phone with a client. The client asked me to create this thing. I thought it would help you. Here you go. And we all know that's based on the law of reciprocity, and I'm not going to get into the psychology of that. Second one is when they stop reading or if they don't read. So in Hero, you know if they didn't listen to it. And you can go, hey, everything okay? That one message, I get so many replies. Thank you so much for reaching out. I wanted to read, blah, blah, blah. Everything okay. Then the next one is next steps. Simple enough. I put in more. I give them like little gifts and stuff along with each chapter, but that's all you really need. And that's how you can skirt ads and get into people's inbox, into not their inbox, into their SMS box, which is important because that's got a 99% open rate. Forget the emails that get like 17%. So, all right. I think I covered all that. Covered that. This is the cost I had before using Hero. So this is what Hero is, just so you know. It's SMS, it's audio. We have artificial intelligence coming out very soon, and it's all fully automated. And let me jump over here.
This video will explain how you can
I'm going to skip all that.
And how you can create automation to process. On the left side menu, click on the plus button.
So this is how you create a show. You get your phone number.
You will be prompted to fill out a new form asking for show details. You can also preview what this looks like to users. Type the title of show and name of creator. Here, upload a cover art. You can choose from library or you can upload your custom one.
This video was created with AI.
Enter the summary of your show in this field and pick a theme color. You can set your episode release time and its access duration. In the ownership block, type owner name, the email address, and copyright details. You can edit the listener access email or left empty to its default. Lastly, click Save and Preview, then create show. You need to have at least one episode in order to publish and create show. After upload, select the episodes and publish it. Now you have a show. Here comes our special feature, the automation. This will allow you to trigger messages, emails, app notification, audio shows, and webhooks that you will create based on the user activity that you will choose. Click this button to start creating your first automation. First, select the show on which you want to enable automation. Then, choose the user activity or events listed here. Listener gets access. This will trigger when user got his access to the show. Playthrough rate. This will trigger when a user reach on a specific runtime of any episode in a show that you will choose. Listener stops. This will trigger when users stop listening an episode or inactive. Listener start show. This will trigger when users start to listening the show. On a specific date. This will trigger on a specific date that you can choose. Listener finishes show. This will trigger when user finishes all episodes in a show. Let's choose a playthrough rate. Select any episode and runtime on which you would like to trigger. Then select what to trigger when a user activity match criteria you selected above. Let's say I want to send a SMS. A live preview will be enabled on right side. Enter the SMS text, then choose confirm. That's all. You create an automation that will send an SMS. You can create multiple automation on a single show. I want to send an email to the user on a specific date. Choose this option and then select the date. From here, click on send email. Give details of your email you would like to send. Lastly, click on confirm. Now, an email will be sent to the user on date you selected. Let's create another last automation. This automation will send an app push notification when a user stops listening to the show. Enter the title and message of notification in these fields. Paste the link of any image, video, or Jiffy you would like to show. And here, enter button details. Click confirm. We created 3 automation now. First one will send SMS, second one will send email to the user, and last one will send app notification. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome. So that's the quick demo. I'm going to share something we have not shared anywhere. How many of you guys want to see the new AI feature we're working on? Not selling it. It's not for sale. Whoops, that's not it. This is. Okay. So this is sneak preview, very rough and raw. We were just working on this, me and my developers. And so it's going to say different things here. We started with a podcast because we're a private podcast forum. So we're going to add in book. We're going to add in webinar. We're going to add in all sorts of cool stuff. So I want to make a podcast. So the little chat guy is going to go, oh, okay. Do you already have, and we're working on these prompts. It's going to be a title. No, I don't have a title for my podcast, for my episode yet. All right, we'll come up with some ideas for you. What do you want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about retirees making money from YouTube. Boom. Great. In a few sentences, tell me a story about how you discovered it. My mom was bored, so we started a YouTube channel for her, and now she is famous. With 1 million. Oh my goodness, subscribers. I am not typing. Subs. I'm going to fix those. I'm a typo. Famous with 1 million. There we go. So I give it that, and then it's going to say, who's my target audience? Let's just say entrepreneurs, because that's really easy to spell. And what tone of voice do you want? Well, let's make it witty. 5th grade level. Let's just do it like that. Thank you. I'm saving your answers. Now we scroll down and it's creating the name. It's creating it right here. So here's a couple that I did before. The format isn't right because, again, this is fresh, hot, not even available to the public, first seen. But here's the intro. Okay, it's done it for us. Here gives us the backstory. Why is this important? What do you need to know? Here's your steps, how to. Here's your future pacing. Here's your recap and call to action. Bada bing, bada boom. And then you can copy it, you can download it, whatever you want. How many of you guys would love to have that? None of that. What are the prompts? What are all the things? How do I get this done? So I would not be a Russell Brunson student if I didn't make you an offer right now. And here's where we're going to go with this. For those of you guys who want to be a published author by Valentine's Day, I have a secret little thing behind these blocks. Shall I reveal them? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. I get one yes. Okay, Sarah, I will call you afterwards. Oh, all right. We're getting a few more. Let's see what you got. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So super pumped about this. I can't even remember what I put behind these blocks. So let's reveal them. Oh, yes. Here we go. Prompt Publish Profit Challenge. Get published by Valentine's Day. And by publish, what do we mean by that? Like, are we just going to have a book written? What's going to happen? Well, let's uncover some of these and see what happens. So let's get rid of this one. Okay, 6 weeks from prompt to publish. So we're talking about getting your audio book done out there, getting a physical book done out there, getting, let's see what else we got. Oh, I'm going to give you some hero. What else are we going to give you? Oh, this one's good. A virtual book tour. So you're not just publishing a book, you're getting in front of audiences. What's a virtual book tour? Getting on podcasts, teaching your method in front of different masterminds. Yeah, how many of you guys want that? And also, because we want you to get a whole bunch of leads on your list when you launch, I'm going to share my own ads person is going to teach you our $5 ad strategy. So this is where you spend $5 a day with a Facebook form ad, and they get your audiobook in exchange for filling out a form. No funnels, nothing. And you also get early bird access to the Hero AI. Okay. What else do I got here? Oh, no student left behind guarantee. All right. How many times have you joined a program and things life gets in the way, and everybody else, like one dude actually made progress and everybody else is kind of falling off? So I do not like that. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. Uh-oh, I think I'm changing it around. Whoops. So here's how I do this. So I have a private Slack channel. You guys are going to be in this private Slack channel with me and my team. You can reach out to me anytime. But what we're going to do over the 6 weeks together is we're going to get your book written. We're going to narrate it. We're going to clean it up. We're going to clean up that narration so it sounds good. We're going to edit it. And I've got a team to help with that. We're going to get your whole Hero FM set up. My team will do it. You just hand over your stuff. My team will do all the tech for you. Okay. And that way you get launched by Valentine's Day. The other thing I'm going to give you is, how many of you guys have searched high and low for people on Fiverr and then you end up with crap? I'm going to give you, do you guys know what Fiverr is? Fiverr is like a marketplace for talent. I got all sorts of people on this call, so I don't want to leave anybody out. So Fiverr is a marketplace for talent, and that's where we're going to find somebody to format the book, because you ain't going to sit down and format the printed version. That's too much, unless you already know how to use those tools and you're an expert on it. But we got people out there who do it 24/7 for peanuts. And I'll share exactly who I hired for the whole process, as well as creating your book covers, your artwork, all of that. So I'm not going to do the whole, I hummed and hawed about the price and all of that. I'm just going to give you the link. And if it's the right time for you, you go to promptpublishprofitcom.com/join, And here's what I'm going to do. So here's the form. If you fill out a short survey, I'm going to give you back $250 so that you can use that towards getting your book formatted, any ads, any other expenses that you have incurred in this. So I'm going to drop the link here in the chat. Oh, that's my text. Here we go. You don't want that. Oh, that went to a direct message anyway. How do I do to everyone? There we go. Here's the link. So here's what you're going to get. We're going to write your book. I'm going to give you all my prompts. I'm going to help you get on the Amazon bestseller. Not me. My team, my friends. I'm going to get your audiobook all set up. My team is going to do all the tech for you. We're going to get you on a book tour, get you 6 months of Hero Premium for absolutely free. And you get AI hand holding. You get in the private Slack group. You get all these things at a very reduced price because this is for just my insiders. All right. So what happens is you fill out your name, first name, last name, and your email. Now, if you already have a Hero account, use the same email that you created your Hero account with. And then we will go out and we will push out your billing for 6 months. For 6 months, you will not get a bill for Hero. Now, I know there's all sorts of people on this call. So I have a payment plan if you want to do a payment plan, or we have the pay in full discount plus the coupon. So if you fill out the survey, I give you a coupon right away after you fill it out. You slap it in there, you save some money. And we're going to kick things off next week. So we're going to, every Tuesday, we're going to meet. Plus, I'm going to have office hours and Q&A where we can meet and discuss and get through everything that you need to get your book done. So you're published and on Amazon by Valentine's Day. Now, any questions? I know there were a lot of questions back here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop sharing. And if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and just ask, or you can DM me if you want. And what I'm going to do as well is you'll get all the trainings, all the Q&As in audio format too. So if you can't make it to the actual videos, you can, are the sessions recorded? Yes, Felicia, that's what I was going to say. So everything will be recorded and you also get it in audio format. So you don't have to sit at your computer to listen to everything. Do you plan to share the Google Doc? Yes. Yes, I'll share the Google Doc. Let me get that. Let me get the, anyone with the link, copy link. Let me drop that into Zoom. Where is that? Here we go. There's the Google Doc. Let me see. Great offer, great presentation. Thank you guys. Oh, I have one more thing before you go. Here we go. I forgot to share this with you. I want to let you have, and if you go into that Google Doc, there's one little thing I forgot to uncover. I'm going to make it bigger. So if you want to get the first version of my book, let me go back over to Zoom. Here you go. You text the word secret to 605-250-1232. That's going to give you the very first version of that book. The very first version was called Zero to Hero. So you're going to get a book called Zero to Hero. You're going to get my SMS messages. You're going to get the whole interactive features with that. So you just text the word secret to 605-250-1232 and bada bing, bada boom. And that's exactly what your audience will do as well. So you'll be on a podcast and you'll tell people on the podcast to just text your amazing word. Let me see. Will it work in Canada? Yes, I believe it will, Elaine. I think it should work in Canada. Charlotte says it worked for her. Perfect. It does not work for Quebec. Just kidding. Is there a recording link for today's Zoom? Yeah, I might give it out. I haven't decided. I kind of want to get some feedback from you guys. How did it go? Good or bad? Do you think it'll make me money or not? Great. Wonderful. Oh, you guys are too good. Yeah, you guys are my warm audience. So that's an easy one. Awesome. All right. So I'm super pumped we were able to keep this under an hour. What we're going to do is we're going to be kicking it off next week. I'm going to do this whether it's one person or 250 people. We're going to be launching some audiobooks by Valentine's Day. I'm so pumped. Not just audiobooks, physical books too. I want to get people out there. I want to get your message out there. I want to help. Here's what I want to do. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Here's what I want to do. How many of you guys have paid thousands of dollars to copywriters, funnel builders, tech VAs, and they were kind of robbed you blind? You nod your head yes if you don't want to admit to it. I have, especially in the last couple of years. And this is what makes me so pumped about this, is we are no longer at their mercy. And we can do things without them right now. And so often the solutions that were sold to us by these companies were created by people who were bragging about 6-7 figure launches, but not sharing that they had 6-7 figure expenses for those launches. And so they're like, hey, buy into my system. I'll teach you how to do it. And you get halfway down the road and you're like, dude, this is going to cost me a fortune. I'm not making anything out of this. You did not share that you need a big list for this. You did not share that you need a big tech team. You did not share how complicated this is, that it would take me 6 months to get this launched. And there are so many good businesses out there that can save people right now. Good entrepreneurs that can save people that are being held back because of systems that are too complicated, too outdated, and frankly, don't work anymore. And the cool thing about this, no funnels, no emails, no copywriters, no tech people. You can get it done no matter who you are. And that's why I created Hero. That's why I created this whole system. This is why I'm doing this webinar, is because there's certain people out there, not everybody, but certain people who are ready to get their voice heard and ready to get out there. And that's the people I want to help. So, all right, done. I'm off my soapbox. Thank you. If you have any questions, if you have any problems, you can reach out to me at hello@hero.fm. I'll be there answering any questions. I'm going to do a follow-up webinar, which is going to be about making children's books I'm not going to have an offer after that. I'm just going to share how I made my children's book, and I'll include it with our course and everything else if you guys want. But thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you, Ingrid, for being here. Diana, Ed, who else? All the people. You guys are going too fast. Wendy, Ellen, Sarah, Nate, Emily, all of you guys. Brian, very cool. Charlotte, Mike. Oh, hey, Mike. Good to see you guys. So take care and go create good work. I'll see you soon.